In today's video, I want to give you not one, not two, but three new presets I created for Bitwig Studio. So this will be a fantastic video. Let's jump right in. If you want to save some money on Bitwig Studio and the upgrade plans, and you want to support my channel and my content, then go to my webpage, use the link to the Bitwig store, use my code and save 10% on the regular price. And the presets I'm talking about are called P-kick, P-snare and P-hi-hat, and they are meant to be a replacement for the Bitwig native devices called E-kick and E-snare and E-hi-hat, of course. And I wanted a bit more control over my sound, so I created these grid patches here, and this is how the P-kick patch looks like. And we have a sine oscillator here, a low pass after the sine oscillator in an amplitude envelope. And then I go here into the a blend module and I blend in some noise from the noise generator here down below. And then there is a pitch envelope, which of course modulates the pitch of the sine oscillator here by 32 semitones. And it opens up here the low pass a bit, and I'm modulating the fold. And every time I use these presets, I tweak everything. So I tweak also here the modulation amount of the low pass. Sometimes I even change the low pass here a little bit, so the kick drum sounds exactly how I want to have the kick drum sounding, right? So there's nothing I don't touch basically. So also when you use your MIDI keyboard, let's make this active, and I use the MIDI keyboard here, you can just use the note or the root note of your song, because this patch is basically key tracked. It plays, you can play it on your keyboard on every key. Can change all the parameters here until the kick drum sounds exactly how you want it. You can also change here the curve. Okay, so you can tweak everything and you have more control than with the native devices of Bitwig Studio. And also these patches are not meant to be sounding pretty nice. They are meant to be some kind of layer instrument or utility. So when you look here at my track, I have above is a drum bass track. I have usually, when I do drum bass, I use some real drum sets somewhere in there, and I have here addictive drums VST or a track, and this track sounds like this. So pretty high passed, and I used my presets to layer a nice synthesized foundation beneath this drum set here. So let's activate this. So this is basically just my patches here playing. It sounds pretty boring and synthesized, so I'm using addictive drums for the flavor basically. Okay, so you can make nice sounding blends between real drum sets and electronic drum sets, and you can use my presets here to make this happen. You can also use, of course, these presets completely standalone when you make some kind of EDM or dubstep. That's pretty common to have very dry sounding synthesized drums. So that's exactly what this is made for. So in this grid patch here, I also have in the FX box here a hard clip grid patch. which doesn't make very much. It's just a clip module here, a bit of gain, and nothing special, basically. But you can basically drive the gain here fully up until you have a nice, loud sounding distorted bass drum. So let's do this. Okay, so you can fully drive this up, and if you see here on the channel, you never go into the red. So there's a hard clip basically integrated, and you don't need to make sure the levels are right. Just tweak everything until it sounds nice to you, and then you're good to go. The P snare preset is pretty similar to the P kick. It's a bit different here. I have for the noise, you have an all pass to smear a bit the sound of the noise or blend it together. Then I have a high pass here, and yeah, it's pretty much the same. Instead of the sine oscillator, I'm using a pulse oscillator here, and this is how the snare sounds. It's activated, okay. So it's also key tracked. Okay, so you can also tweak this until it sounds nice to you. You can change the attack when you use the pitch envelope here, which is usually pretty fast. You can change the attack pretty drastically just by modulating some kind of parameters here. And I also use here the pitch envelope for modulating the pitch of the pulse oscillator, but only by 12 semitones, so it's pretty... But you can also change this if you don't want it. You can also drive up here the gain. So all kinds of different snares you can create with just with this preset here. And as I said, normally or usually most snares are layered, so you can maybe just go in here and layer some kind of sample here on top of this real or of this synthesized sound. Maybe we go for a clap here. Something like this, some Foley stuff. And then you can... So basically I'm used this to layer all my real drum sounds with the synthesized drum sound together. So this is exactly made for this. So let's remove this. Also here on the FX box there's a hard clip, so you can drive up the gain. I just explained this. Okay, so P hi-hat is of course just noise, and white noise you can change it to pink noise if you want. Then there's an envelope here, amplitude envelope, and I'm using here velocity. I don't use velocity for the P snare and the P kick. You can implement this if you want it, but I usually want to have the synthesized drum sounds for the kick and the snare on the same loudness throughout my whole track. But on the hi-hat, I usually tend to want to have more movement, right? So here I'm just modulating the attenuate module, and maybe you can change also the high pass if you want. And when you play this patch, you can change here basically how the hi-hat sounds. So when I use an arpeggiator and change the velocity, maybe like this. Can change with the velocity. You can bring in a lot of groove and nice movement into your drums by just using the velocity for the hi-hat. Okay, so this patch is basically pretty simple. Actually, let's save this. Yeah. So 3 presets you can use for your drums to use for layers, or just use it completely standalone for stuff like dubstep and EDM or something like this. I don't care. So I'm making this available to you for free in my GitHub. I post also a link down in the description below, as always, and you can give some feedback, and maybe there are some updates in the future to these presets. I don't know, maybe I do something, another video in the future. But for now, that's it. I got some questions about these presets because I showed them in some of my videos, so I wanted to make them available for free. So have some fun, give me some feedback, leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe to the channel and all this stuff. You know the deal. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.